You cycled a ton when you were in Europe, right?
Yes,
So
well, not
was...
just in Europe, but also here in Canada.
Okay.
Like in Montreal, I did the Tour of Lake Saint John.
Okay.
1965, that's a while back.
Yes.
So yeah, and I almost beat one of the top guys there. But that was when I was riding maybe 8 to 10,000 miles a year.
A year.
So
wow. So with that, was that your profession then?
No.
Okay.
I came over as a watchmaker, and I worked. You see, I knew that the minute I were to turn professional, I wouldn't really love it anymore.
Right.
I love to ride my bike, and I still do.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I never turned professional. Even though I actually made more money riding on the weekends than I made repairing watches all week. So.
Right. So you were neck and neck with the guys that were in the pro circuit.
I was allowed to ride with the pros because of my classification.
Right. Wow, that's cool. That's very cool. Very neat. So then you came out west here.
Yes.
Okay. And kind of tell me a little bit about when you decided to kind of hang up the bike. What was that process like?
I first came to Prince George in '66, and I started a cycling club there, and we organized a lot of races, and I kind of liked it. However, I found out that Prince George is not the best place to be when you want to cycle, because you only get about 6 to 8 months a year.
Right, just a short riding season.
And when I came to Kamloops, I started riding a little more nervously, and I rode until I was 46.
Okay.
But then the young fellows started to beat me quite regularly, and so that's when I hung up. The last race I did when I was just about 46, so almost 47 actually. And then I just started riding for pleasure instead of for competition.
Right. Yeah.
And I still love it.
Yeah.
I still probably try and do 100 miles or so every month.
Right.
Which isn't really quite enough, but keeps me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, and so you found out about Lighthouse through a friend of mine.
Yes.
Who practices.
A mutual friend, yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
And then one says to me, he says, well, you really should be able to get down to Cologne. He's a good friend of mine down there. So he talked to me about you, and that's when I called up and made my first appointment. The rest is history, I suppose.
Yeah, and so when you came in, you were still having some symptoms up top, so tell me a bit about that.
Well, actually, I personally feel like I had Bells Palsy.
Yes.
And I feel that was because of that cyst. You know, I'm not 100% certain. I mean, I'm not a medical person, but somehow I put it all together, and my daughter agrees that it must have been that.
Yeah.
And so she figures, if we can keep my spine the way it should be, then we would prevent that from happening again. And so far, it's been doing great, but even better, like I feel better cycling, even though my legs aren't there anymore. Like I feel powerless in my legs when I go up a hill, but I enjoy riding. As long as it's not too long and too steep a hill, I know I'm okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, I really enjoy it. The thing is, next March I'm going to be 70, and I feel hardly any different from when I stopped racing.
Yeah.
You know? Now, I don't know that, I have to say that there is no way that I will ever be able to keep up with the young lads again, but that's partially because, 100 miles a week just won't do it.
Yeah, just training. Yeah.
Just training.
Yeah, but the great thing is your love for cycling has always remained.
Yeah.
And now you're getting your body adjusted and getting that nerve system back. So when you have the time to get out there, you get out there and enjoy it.
And the thing is, like I've been working with Todd, and I think you've met Todd, the young lad that I'm teaching watchmaking, and so I ride to his place and home every day, so that means I go down the hill and then up at night. And for the last 3 weeks now, because winter is almost here, I'm riding my mountain bike.
Nice.
And I actually ride my mountain bike up that hill more or less the same as I did the racing bike. And there's a huge difference in weight. And well, one is a bike that cost me less than 500 bucks, and the other one is in the thousands. So it's I do know that I'm doing better, even though I always expect a lot more of myself. I just
Yeah. So then the last thing I want to ask you about is that experience where you actually did go in a race. Was that earlier this summer?
Yes, a little early this summer I went into a race, and the first race was, I was quite disappointed until I actually found out that I'd broken a spoke around the first bend, and it didn't work out at all.
Yeah.
And then I went to a time trial, and the time trial I was quite a bit slower than I was 23 years ago, obviously, but I was just as fast as many of the other guys that are younger. So, and the thing is, I'm getting to the point now where it doesn't bother me too much, win or not to win.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the loaded question. So what would you say to a 35-year-old that thinks they're getting too old to train hard and expect a lot out of their body?
Well, anybody that is less than 45 or 46 years old and figures that he has to give up to the younger fellows is crazy. There's no two ways about it.
There we go. Very good. So 70 and all you can do is go up.
Yeah. Next year, when I go to the races, I will definitely be doing a lot better than I did this year.
Yeah.
But you know, it takes longer now to get into top shape. It just does. Body's not quite as responsive.
Yeah. And I think your definition of top shape might be a little different than a lot of ours.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah.